Hello readers, how y'all doing? I hope you are well and reading fiercely. Kim here with Native Lady Book Warrior, and I will be reviewing Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. So, let's go then! Hello, hello, hello. Vitsuave, welcome. Vitsoke. Sit down, have a seat, and I'm very glad that you are here. Hello to everybody coming back to my channel, and very new hellos to those of you who have not visited my channel before. I'm very happy that you are here with me today. I am firstly very late in the game in reviewing this book, Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. Holy crap. So my son wasn't even born yet when this book came out, and he's gonna be 5 years old. So that's how behind I am. And originally I wasn't going to review this book, but I got a very cool email. No, wait. I got a very cool Facebook message from a young Native teen, and this book review is for that young Dine or Navajo woman currently residing in Phoenix, Arizona, but originally from Chinle, Arizona. So kunah'ah or ahehee for watching my channel, and I very much appreciate you. So okay, this book is the second book continuing from the first book, which is called Daughter of Smoke and Bone. From the first book, we find out that our young protagonist, Karoo, is originally a chimera. What? Yeah, so I thought that was very cool. And that her and Akiva, a misbegotten angel soldier, actually used to be love in her previous life, and they envisioned a better future for both their peoples, but very suddenly that dream was ripped away, and Karoo or Madrigal was sentenced to death by beheading, and Akiva was forced to watch the entire thing. Akiva then begins his journey, and at the book's dramatic conclusion, we discover that Akiva's torment from Karoo or Madrigal's death begins his crazy, vengeful backlash, and because of his doing, the Angel Empire ends up massacring the Chimera capital and citizens of Loramendi, or basically all of Karoo's people and her family, including Brimstone. Ugh. So this book begins with a very grief-stricken and ashamed Akiva, who believes he has lost Karoo once again in this war between Chimera and the Seraphim or the angels. But soon you begin to very quickly find out that Karoo is not dead. She is very much alive, but she is very much swimming in a pool of guilt and wrath, and is very much trying to atone for the destruction of the Chimera. Karoo then runs into Thiago, and she takes him back to Earth. And she begins using her magical skills and abilities to resurrect the Chimera into an army for the purpose of war, revenge, and pretty much brutal victory. Back in Eretz, Akiva and his misbegotten siblings, Loraz and Haziel, who are a very excellent addition in this book in terms of character and character development, and they are basically put in this situation of carrying out orders of genocide on the entire population of Chimera, including helpless citizens and even refugees that are fleeing. The addition of characters in this book and their development was absolutely fantabulous. Even the villains. I don't want to ruin it for those of you who have not read this book, but there is some serious villainy going on in this book on both sides, angels and chimera. But this book is seriously dark and malicious. Also, a huge trigger warning for sexual assault in this book, and I encourage you all to please take care in reading this book because that part is very violent, and even me myself, I had to take a very much needed break after reading that part in this book. On a positive note, the world building that takes place is very beautiful. It's very amazing. Even the setting and the violent and brief history and the political dynamics of tyranny and craziness that exists in the empire, the Seraphim Empire, is very much explored as well. Laini Taylor's writing really took me there, even though I would be scared out of my mind to visit such a place because it's a bunch of crazy stuff going on. I would very much like to visit as a ghost Kim or an invisible ghost Kim or a fly on the wall. I think that would have been pretty cool to just see this place for myself. Many people, just from conversations that I had with others who read this book, were disappointed with that there wasn't much romance in the book. But for me, I very much appreciated that. And I appreciated that absence because I found that there was more depth in the characters and there was more world building, and the writing was very good in building all of that, and it didn't and for me, I didn't require romance, especially when I got very, very cool, wonderfully descriptive fantasy creatures at war with one another. Laini Taylor also kind of briefly opens up that curtain to its dark, sinister possibilities, and it's almost threefold or 100-fold exponential consequences that could happen because of war. But in that darkness, Laini bestows us with also things to balance that out, like hope and courage and honor, integrity, and even dreams of peace. Okay, finally, my rating. In my opinion, the writing was very suspenseful. The world building in this book was very, very colorful, and those two elements were also were also better in this book than the first. The plot and character perspectives were fun also, and they gave me a lot in terms of seeing this world on a different lens, and even some of those perspectives were just like one-time occurrences, and I found that to be really interesting. But for me, the time jumps, the time jumps at times were sort of confusing and at times frustrating. Almost every chapter is a cliffhanger in this book, and I felt like I was taking this ride with Marty McFly and Back to the Future for a bit in that wicked awesome DeLorean, and I'm like in this DeLorean flying, and then all of a sudden I look again and then Doc is sitting there. So just the jerk of back and forth and then the switching of perspectives, oh my gosh, I'm probably giving away my age by giving you that metaphor, but I believe others may found that character shift and that back and forth time jump suspenseful and engaging. But for me, it was kind of like erratic, and in my opinion, it almost would disrupt the pacing of the story. As I mentioned, there's a very triggering chapter in this book for sexual assault, and I'm not going to spoil it for those of you who have not read this book, but for those of you who do not wish to read that chapter, in my opinion, you can skip right over it, and it's chapter 71. The details and were very descriptive and brutal, and again, in my personal opinion, I found it, just me as Kim the reader, I found it to be depreciating to a specific character and their character building, and I could not help but to think that that assault, that sexual assault, was punishment for that character for standing up for what they believe in. And I'm sure the author did not intend for me to think or view of it in that way. And I think she probably wanted us to see how the other character, the perpetrator, is this awful villain and only respects power and control. But unfortunately, automatically, that's not where my thinking and my mind went. So okay, I am totally done with this review. So thank you all for watching this video, and a very big thank you or ahehee to that young native Dine Navajo teen in Phoenix for watching. If you all want to see my discussion piece on this book, that link will be down below. So I just want you all to stay safe. I hope your families are doing very well. So wear a mask, wash your hands, and I shall see you all again very soon. So laters. Bye.